Hey guys, I know I've been gone forever and a day, but I'm back, hopefully for good. We'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna make any promises because life's crazy. But the last time I saw you guys was probably over a year ago. I was just, I had just graduated college and I was trying to do job hunting and all that kinds of stuff. I've landed a job, thankfully now. But that whole process of where I was over a year ago has inspired me to make a video of 10 hacks on how to land a job. It's fall time almost, pretty much end of summer, and at this time when in 2015 I was looking for a job still. I had graduated in May of that year and I still hadn't found a job, and I was really getting down on myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who are in the job market feel pretty terrible because you probably have gotten so many rejections and you're just like, someone say yes to me. And I know that's how I was feeling. I just wanted one yes, and it didn't happen for me until February of 2016 for like my real job. I was doing freelancing, but for my permanent job that I have now, 2016 was when I got that yes answer. So it takes time, but these 10 hacks are definitely how I landed my job. I probably should do a story time of how I actually got my job, all the specifics, but these 10 hacks or tips helps me get there. So let's just jump right into it. So number one is knowing what you want to do and mapping out how to get there. So you've gone through college, you did your major, and now what is the job title that you're looking for? Do you want to be someone's assistant? Do you want to be higher than an assistant? What is your goal? Like, do you eventually want to be a CEO of a company? What is it that you really want to do? And once you have that idea in mind, then you can map out how to get there. So for me, I knew that I didn't want to, so I was a film major, so I want to ultimately produce television. So I knew that I didn't want to be someone's assistant, but everyone was telling me, oh girl, you have to be an assistant in the industry. That's like how you get in, etc., etc. But I was like, I'm really not good at like assisting people. Like, I feel like I'm more of a leader than a follower. Not that assistants are followers, but I just knew that from past experiences, I wasn't really that great at being someone's assistant. So in my head, I was applying for jobs that weren't assistant positions, and actually when I was about to apply for an assistant position, because I was getting rejected from everything, that's when I got my first job, which my title was social media producer, which I'm no longer am that, but that's what was my first title. So mapping that out and having that goal in mind, I really felt like that brought the first position to me, because like I was putting it out there in the universe. And I don't know if you guys believe this, but I believe whatever you put out in the universe, whether that's positive energy or negative, you reap that right back to yourself. So that's what happened for me. Two will be cater your resume / cover letter to that job you're applying for and have someone review that. So I know applying for jobs is like tedious and annoying and you just want to send a bunch of cover letters and resumes out, but you really can't. Having been on the side of trying to apply and having been on the side of reviewing resumes, honestly, if you don't put the time and effort into your resume and cover letter, it shows immediately. When I'm reviewing resumes, I don't have that much time, and I want something that's going to stand out to me and show me that you really, really do want this job and you're super interested, and you looked up the company and you looked up what we're doing and you know everything about us pretty much, and you're really putting your best foot forward in your cover letter and your resume. And I know some people don't want to write cover letters, but I think that having been on the other side of looking at resumes and stuff, cover letters are really important, because sometimes your resume isn't just enough. We need to see your personality too, and your personality can come out in your cover letter. And so when you're crafting your resume, I failed at this in the beginning. I would put like everything on my resume that I had done. No, you don't want to do that, because it needs to be one sheet. First of all, it should be, and second of all, like, no one has time to read a cluttered resume. So you need to put like your top 3 things that are going to stand out to the recruiter or the hiring manager that relate to that job. So if you're applying to be a television producer, why are you going to put that you were a chef before? Like, that's random, but like, why would you put any experience that doesn't relate to being a producer? So yeah, I've run into experiences being a manager now that people are just putting things on there that don't relate to the job that I'm looking for. You need to definitely cater your resume and your cover letter to the job and have someone review it, because the thing is, it looks so bad when you submit your resume and cover letter and there are like errors all through it, because that shows that you don't have attention to detail, and pretty much every job requires you to have attention to detail. So have your mom, have your boyfriend, have your girlfriend, have whoever, your brothers, sisters, whatever, someone has a second check over your resume and cover letter, which you should already know how to do, since like, you know, you should do that with your papers in college and what have you. 3, you can try to do informational interviews. I did one before I got the job that I have now with a really reputable company, someone from there, and it didn't go the best. You know, my intentions were to meet her and hopefully like land the job that she was looking for, but I didn't get the best vibe, so I did not apply for the job, even though she told me to apply. I was like, no, because, you know, you're basically telling me you're not going to hire me, so why would I waste my time applying? As you guys know, it takes forever to apply to things. But I think that informational interviews help you to understand what your assets are and what you can provide someone, and just pretty much like how the whole working world works. Because people are really cutthroat, and if you've never been in that world before, I think that those interviews can really help you. Also, it just builds, you know, someone else in your repertoire of networks, you know. So they can help. It's not like the biggest thing you have to do, but it's something that can actually help you along the way. 4, this one's key, especially depending on if you are in the creative fields where you need to show a portfolio. You need to have a website, and you also need to have business cards. Business cards in general, just across the board, you should have them, but definitely if you're in the creative side, you need to have a website to showcase yourself. So I got a website. I use Wix.com. There's like Squarespace. There's a ton of sites that you can use that'll help you build your website. And so that just makes you look so much more professional, especially when you buy your URL. So normally like the site just gives you one of theirs, so you can create your own. So it could be like rebeccasproduction.wix.com, but that's like kind of corny. You want to just have rebeccaproductions.com, you know. So it's best to buy a URL and go through that. But yeah, it looks so elegant. If anyone ever just needs to know something quick about you, they can pull your website up. And so when you build these websites, you can do one for the desktop, but then you also do one for mobile, and it just looks sleek and clean, and everyone sees your work at once, and it's amazing. So that's what I did, especially since I have a lot of my short films on different sites. So some are on YouTube, some are on Vimeo. So I needed to have one place where they all were featured. And then I also have my resume on my website. So yeah, your website just like is like a home base where everything is. And so I really think that it's super important to have one. And then also your business cards, because you never know who you're going to meet out in life. And so yeah, you can give them your phone number, but it just makes you stand out more when you have a business card that, you know, that's cool and stands out, and you know, where they'll remember you, just like they're probably going to remember the interaction, but the business card, in case they forget, will jog their memory. So definitely get both of those. And especially because like websites aren't too expensive, and business cards you can get from like FedEx and like make them online, and they're not that expensive either. So definitely do that. So 5, also important, utilize LinkedIn. Utilize it. So I know that maybe depending on what field you're in, you may not use your LinkedIn that much, but it's super important when you are looking for a job, because well, one, they have jobs on there, and then people that are looking at your resume are going to go immediately to your LinkedIn and look at your LinkedIn to see what you look like and what else that may be on your online resume that's not on the paper resume. So when you're using LinkedIn, one key tip is to go on private mode. So in your settings, you can go in and select private mode, so that way you can browse the entire site without anyone noticing that you are looking at their pages. I do that because I don't want anyone to know if I visit their page a ton of times to read like their work history or their college history or stuff like that. Some people don't put it on because they want like someone to know that they're looking for a job. So it depends on what you are using it for. Some people, if they're looking for a job, they want a recruiter to know, so they'll not put it on private mode. I'm just a private person, so I like to, you know, I like to ghost and, you know, stalk people privately on LinkedIn or whatever. But the only downside of being on private mode is that you can't see when people view your page. So if you care about that, then that's that. But you can also get LinkedIn Premium, and then you can be private and still see people that view your page, what have you. But LinkedIn is important because not only can you connect with recruiters, but people can reach out to you. That's where jobs are posted a ton, and you can see how you compare to other applicants as well. I think that it's a great resource that that you can have all your bases covered, especially if you're looking for different types of jobs, because everyone's posting their jobs on that site. And it's also great to build your presence. So you need to have a great photo, and you need to fill in all of your information, all of your college, all of your internships that you may have had or past jobs, as well as like volunteer experience. That way you just build your entire profile so that it shows that you're a well-rounded person, like your online presence is really, really positive. So LinkedIn, get at it. So number 6 would be signing up on Monster and Indeed.com. So that's what I did. Monster and Indeed are places where you can upload your resume, and you can also search for jobs. But when you upload your resume, recruiters will see your resume if they're, you know, depending on what they're looking for, and they'll reach out to you. So how I got my job that I have right now is through those sites. I can't pinpoint which exact one, but a recruiter reached out to me because I had a skill set on my resume and it stood out to them, I guess, when they were searching behind the scenes, and that's how I got my job. And so when I'm looking for a job again, if it's not through like networking or whatever, I'm gonna be using Monster Indeed for sure, because it's nice that you have someone looking for you, because it can be so taxing to keep looking for yourself. Like, of course you need to keep looking and browsing sites yourself, but it's nice that people can reach out to you for jobs as well. And of course you can decline them. I declined so many over the time, but then just one turned out to be the right one for me, and that's how that all happened. So then the next one will be listservs. And so this is one that just like is a little one that like helps you out. Depending on what your field is, you should join job listservs that relate to that field. So me being in, you know, production, and wanting to work in film and television, I joined like a women in film and video listserv. I joined like a communications listserv that has like the features jobs every day get sent out, just so that you're always in the know of what's happening in your industry as well, and just like you're always up to date on the jobs that are hot off the press in your industry. And it's right to your email, so it's super easy. And you know what, there's no excuse to have not applied since it goes straight to your email, and I'm sure you guys check your email every day. So number 8 is huge, because networking is key. Literally, it's all about who you know. Whew, all about who you know. I did not get my job from who I knew, but I had to have really good references, and that was ultimately who I knew from past internships and my bosses and things like that. But most jobs, I would say maybe like 75 to 80% of the time is who you know. And so depending on your industry, every industry has, I feel like, networking situations. And you just have to, like, I know maybe it's awkward, maybe you don't really want to go, but you really just gotta put yourself out there and go to these events and meet people. And you never know who you're gonna meet that may help you right now, or they may help you in the future. It really just all depends. And so if you're watching this and in college, definitely network at your school as well. That's a big plus. It'll save you so much time when you get out of college. And that reminds me, like, if you just graduated, network within your alumni circle, because there's people that love hiring people that went to the same school as them, and there you go, job right there. You just never know. So number 9 would be practicing interviewing. And I know it may be like, why am I doing that? Because I feel like I'm a great talker. Like, why do I need to practice interviewing with someone? Well, you do. And because I thought I was great, and I feel like I'm pretty good, having been a tour guide and whatnot, but I wasn't prepared in one of my first interviews for certain questions. And I think one of the biggest one was they asked, what is your weakest like trait, character trait, attribute, whatever. And I was stumped. I was like, my weakest trait, my weakest thing, because I didn't have, well, I do have them obviously, but like I literally try to be perfect in my job. And so I couldn't think of an example of like a huge weak trait that would really affect my performance. And I think that not having one and them having to coax me to have one really negatively affected my chances for that job, and I didn't get the job. But honestly, so happy I didn't get the job, because what I have now is a lot better, and I just don't think that I was meant to be there. So things, you know, life is crazy. But ultimately, you need to be prepared for any type of question. I know on my team, we love to ask like random things like, which house would you want to be sorted into in Harry Potter? Like, what superhero would you want to be? Like, so there's serious questions that you have to be prepared for, but there's also wacky questions that you just have to be prepared for. You just never know what someone's going to ask, because they really want to know your personality and see what kinds of things you're going to think of and how creative you are and how you can think on the spot, because it's it's a test for you, but also then you should think of questions you need to ask them. I don't think that it reads very well when you don't have questions to ask the company, because you are interviewing them as well. What if you don't want to work there? You should ask how the culture is and things like that. So definitely be extremely prepared for your interviews, but in preparing so much, don't become like super awkward and nervous, because then that reads really poor, unfortunately. You just have to be cool, calm, and collected, like, you know, fake it till you make it kind of personality for that. And then number 10 is have solid outfits prepared. I know that's probably like so obvious, but you really should look well prepared and killing it, you know. And so some jobs are different. I think you should become super preparedly dressed for all jobs, but so if you're gonna work in the business field, of course, like a suit, like super professional is the way to go. But some jobs are a bit more lax, but you should always look your best. I definitely want to do a video of like things that I would wear to an interview or have worn to interviews, because you just need to kill it. Like, if you don't work that every day, that's fine. You can show them that other side of you once you get the job, but you're trying to dress to impress, you know, blazers, slacks, skirts, professional dress. Make sure you iron your clothes. I know some people don't use irons anymore. I'm one of them, but for interviews, you need to make sure that you look spectacular, because that matters, and it's the first impression of you with your future team or your future boss or what have you. And also, you just want to make sure that your personality is near perfect. Like, read the room, read people's body language, try to fit the vibe, especially if it's a job that you really want. You know, just put your best foot forward. I know in my interviews, I was very relatable and I smiled, not a lot, but like, you know, I showed them my personality, that I could mold myself in any situation, fit any situation, adapt to any situation, and speak fluidly, clearly, not a lot of ums and likes and whatever. Don't be nervous, don't be fidgeting, don't be moving in the chair. A lot of people move in chairs. You just really want to be focused and assertive and kind and funny and all the things. But I think that it's better to assess how you actually should act once you're reading the room and feeling the vibe of the people that are in the room. So I hope those 10 tips / hacks helped, or will help, because you haven't tried them yet. They actually really helped me land the job that I'm at today, and the job that I am at is like indescribable. To have a job like this coming out of college, I did not expect it, but I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to work where I work. And I hope that the same thing happens for all of you guys out there. If you have any questions about career things or anything like that, just let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.